Bonnie, thank you. That was beautiful. I can see some new faces out there. So in keeping with our last principle, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, I take pleasure in introducing our guest speaker, Rosemary Alden, who loves to learn and holds certifications for holistic nutrition, reflexology, reevaluation counseling, nonviolent communication, also has a Juris Doctor degree and a master's degree in education. But most important for this presentation is her certification as an instructor of Chinjin Zitsu, Acupressure, self-help, aka health is in your hands. Her experience includes 20 years in public education, secondary and community college, 15 years in business management, and most appropriate for this presentation, 15 years as an instructor in acupressure and self-help for church groups, women's groups, and college students at LCC, for Peace Health hospice volunteers, and at private retreats. Rosemary is passionate about this physio-philosophy and also practices Qin with private clients at her home office. And here is Rosemary to show you how health is in your hands. Please welcome.
Since I started teaching in college, my materials got bigger. I'm on. Just turn the microphone on. Can you hear me through the microphone? Coming through? We can hear you a little bit. Make sure it's on okay. Okay.
Beyond button always works.
Here's some materials too.
Excuse us while we do a little moving around here. I'm going to move this.
All right.
I think it might be a little more appropriate.
Okay. There's some materials that go with it too. And this is my prop. I always get a little nervous no matter how many times I've done this, because I want to convey the message to you that something that is so important to me has been a boon in my life since year 2000, when I first ordered this book from Amazon. And as soon as I began to read and understand and practice, because you can even practice from this book, I felt like I was home. And at that time, I was working in a high-tech firm in Ashland doing managing contracts and human resources and accounting, and I liked that. I was good at it, but my soul was starving. So as I learned this and began to practice, anybody who would lie on my table, I would say, please, can I practice with you? I began to see that this would be a way to spend my life that would be so much more satisfying, nourishing than what I was doing. Although that other is certainly valuable, we need that kind of stuff. But this is real low tech. That was high tech stuff I was into. Anyway, what I'm talking about is health is in your hands, and there really should not be a question mark there. There is a question mark because we haven't been taught that. But I mean, contracts, accounting, what did I know about any healing in my hands? And we all have that. We just haven't been taught it. And the more I practice, the more amazing it is how healing really does come through. We are electromagnetic, gravitational beings, every one of us. If you plugged us in, we'd light up. Anyway, this is Health is in Your Hands, and the reason it's called this now is because I didn't have these materials to teach from when I first started giving classes in Jinjin Jitsu. but one of the instructors, there's only about 40 instructors of Jin Jitsu in the whole world. And there's only about 25 to 30,000 practitioners. So it's a comprehensive thing to learn, but very simple to apply. And so what we're really talking about here is Jin Jitsu. This was translated from the German just in 2014, just 2 years ago. And one of my instructors, anyway, is the one who put this together. It's flashcards with a manual, and that's what I teach from at LCC. And although I don't have a class going at LCC this spring, I will have one again there in the fall. But there's 2 ways to do Jin Jitsu. There is the self-help, which is through, and some of you have done this self-help. A couple people here who have done this, and some of you have had sessions. And so the self-help is one way, and we'll be doing some of that today, so you get an idea of what it's like. And then sessions with a practitioner, you just lie fully clothed on the table. And it goes into like the reading set, it goes into the underground, the essence, that all that hidden part of us that we don't pay much attention to because we have to get dressed and comb our hair, brush our teeth, and take care of all of the day-to-day stuff. But the energy is what's controlling it all. What we're talking about is life energy, which is a universal network. Every single one of us has the same network running through us in distinct pathways, and one of those pathways is down the front, all the way to your feet and into the earth if you like, and up the back. And as you breathe out, and you think of that's one of the main source energy pathways according to Jin Jitsu. As you breathe out, just imagine a flow of air, water, whatever your imagination takes you down the front, and then up the back on the in-breath, and over the top of the head, and down the front. As I sat here waiting for my time, one of the things that I do before classes, before speaking, to remind myself that it's much more than this speaking. It's an energy that as I get out of the way will speak through me to energy in you that is ready to hear or wants to hear. And there's all kinds of relationships in this energy. And one of the main ones is, as above, so below. Bet some of you heard that before. As above, so below. As in front, so in back is also true. Now, as far as the body goes, that means if I have a headache, maybe there is an energy pathway in my foot that is congested. Now, congestion is, I didn't put that down, it's one of my vocabulary words today. Congestion is like you have a stuffy nose, you can't quite breathe through it, it's like a blockage. And in these lines of energy that run through us, and they run down the front, up the back, and left to right, and right to left, and crossways, and the whirling and spiraling in our systems is amazing. And is amazing. When we are in harmony, when we feel really good, that's free-flowing life energy, that's the harmony. When we don't feel good, my knee, my shoulder, my mental hamster wheeling, my stress, my whatever, then we are congested, and that's usually because of our patterns of thinking and feeling. Jin Jitsu tells us that what we carry in our minds and hearts and feelings is controlling everything in our bodies. And as we are able to work with any patterns of thinking and feeling, because some of them work. I'm a wonderful person. I feel joyful. Those are helpful messages. My harmony goes, oh yeah. But when I said, oh, gee, I'm not going to be able to do this, no good, I think I'm going to want. This is not helpful energy, it congests. And JSJ says there are 5 major basic attitudes that are congesting us, and they all go to what are called depths of energy that if you decided to learn the self-help, you would know what this meant. Worry, and that is an attitude that is harmonized by the thumb. Fear is an attitude that's harmonized by the index finger. And you'll be able to learn this one easily because that's anger. That's real easy to remember. So the next time you're really angry, you just kind of hold your. I had a boss when I was working. I held my ring finger. I fall off. Sadness, grief is the ring finger, and then the little finger is pretense or cover up. They won't like who I really am, so I'll pretend to be somebody else. And crying on the inside and laughing on the outside, that's the little finger, and that's linked with the heart and the small intestine. Anyway, you don't need to know that. And I do have handouts about this stuff. If you come to the dialogue circle, I'll have some handouts for people. Okay, now, I'll make sure to get a meditation in. So, what is this? Jin-Jin-Jitsu is a highly developed form of acupressure. How many have had acupuncture needles? Okay. This is acupressure. Instead of poking needles, we touch. And we touch with what's called a jumper cable. Use the breath and the hands. A jumper cable, like a battery on your car. In order to get your car started, if the battery's dead, you put a positive and a negative, and another car goes boom, and your car goes boom. Same thing with our hands. That circuitry in our hands. Now it does take practice to bring it up. Some people have a natural ability though, and you'll find that, I feel something right away. Other people just feel kind of a general relaxation, but we're going to do a short meditation with that. So those are jumper cables, designated places on the body that we hold. Ray, can I use you as an example? Ray took one of the self-help classes. Like if Ray had something going on with his rotator cuff, I'm going to touch a place here on his back and a place here. That's the beginning of the flow pattern. And then as I hold those places, the pulse comes up. We have pulses everywhere on our bodies, and it's that vibration of our energy circuitry that continues to amaze me. Thank you, Ray. What I just touched on, Ray, were safety energy locks. These are the circuit breakers along energy pathways that we talked about before, places we jumper cable to release energy blocks. First and foremost, we use that breath. Always we use that breath to harmonize, release the energy blockages. And so to heal the body, we must harmonize the flow of life energy within. There's all this, like mainstream medicine has lots of techniques for working with the physical body, and they're wonderful. This works at the deeper level with that. So this is a good harmonizer with whatever kind of therapy you're doing. It goes with any kind of medical therapy. And you can't hurt anybody with this, because if the body's not ready to be harmonized, it puts up like a gate, and it says, I'm not ready for this. So you can't hurt anybody with it. So we harmonize life energy with the breath and the hands, the jumper cables. And Jiro Murai is the Japanese philosopher. He was from a medical family who documented this, what was an oral tradition for a long time, by going to sources like the Kojiki, which is the record of ancient things in Japan, which was hidden away in these deep vaults, and he had to get special permission from the emperor to go into it. And some of the things that we study are just amazing. works that has been hidden from us. And one of the reasons it was hidden is because if we ever all got together in this kind of power, watch out. Mary Burmeister is the one, Mary Ino was her name. She was also Japanese, and she married George Burmeister. And she translated all of Jinjin Jitsu into English and studied it for years and years before she started to teach it in 1960s. So that's about all I want to tell you before we do some actual work with this. If you can, free up your hands. Choose one of your thumbs. It doesn't matter which one. Just choose one of your thumbs. And we're going to do a little meditation to harmonize. Drop your shoulders. Relax your belly. And maybe recall that breathing of down the front on the out-breath and up the back on the in-breath. And as you hold your thumb, just drop your awareness. We can't turn our minds off. We need our minds. But sometimes we don't need our minds. Right now, let's just be aware of the energy in your thumb, which can help harmonize the attitude of worry. And that also goes to things like being uncertain, feeling unsupported, feeling dependent. And it also helps harmonize the stomach and spleen function energy. All of these go back into actual physical organs that have their own energy pathways. Just breathe with your thumb for a moment. Up the back. And moving to the index finger. Just lightly hold the index finger and we harmonize the attitude of fear. And this is the mother of all attitudes. False evidence appearing real. Has to do also with apathy and restlessness. When we're afraid, we sometimes just say, oh, well, let's sit back. When we harmonize that, we can go to our wisdom, our courage. This also helps the kidney and bladder function energy. Breathing with the energy in the index finger. Moving to the middle finger. Everybody remembers this one harmonizes anger and frustration and rigidity. When I'm angry, I'm rageful, that rigidity, inflexibility comes up and I can't move. I can only be angry. But if I can harmonize that into flexibility and compassion for myself first, as well as others. And I also help harmonize the liver and gallbladder energy when I'm holding the middle finger. Breathing with the middle finger. Moving to the ring finger. Harmonizing sadness and depression. Also, maybe surprisingly, possessiveness. In grief, often it's because I've lost something I want that here. And to let go, so I can feel the inspiration of where I'm supposed to be right now, know who I am right now. Being aware potential in this present moment. Also harmonizing lung large intestine energy. And moving west to the little finger, not last really. This is where we harmonize pretense. That cover up, we try to say, oh, I'm a pretty good person. I got the same junk everybody else does. Harmonizing that into joy. As we also help the heart function energy and the small intestine function energy. Breathing down the front. And up the back. When you're ready, open your eyes. Maybe shake out your hands a little, your shoulders. Just one more thing. I am teaching self-help classes kind of in my home office, and I do have some applications. Anybody who wants to come to the dialogue circle or just pick one up, I'll leave them here. And I do have some handouts that give the information that I just talked about in the hands and what attitudes go with that, and some of the basics of teaching. So, thank you for your attention.